I used to say I'm a teacher because that's what I'm actually doing. I'm going to drag you through the 50 years of my so-called professional life. I was very young when I started. This is when I was a little boy, actually. I was born and raised in Porsgrunn, approximately 15 kilometers south of Oslo. Known as a small industrial town, but it has a very great history. It's about timber going to England. So there was a lot of nice buildings. There's still some few. But they have been very efficient during my life to get away all those timber buildings. So this is a building, I don't remember it, but I remember very well the first building I saw the guys pulling down. And I became very sad, and even sadder when I saw what they were building afterwards. That was a pity. And it has been like that all my life. They build ugly things, and they pull down very nice, old, ordinary vernacular buildings. So, this one, maybe? Yeah. When I was approximately 12 years old, I discovered the city. I could use my bike to go around in the city, and I saw all those beautiful old houses. And I was fond of drawing, so I made drawings of a lot of houses. And nobody noticed those houses because they were going to get away, and we were going to have a brick town because wood is burning and brick is not, they say. And that is a funny way of behaving. It's more or less like cracking glass to prevent that the glass is cracking. The buildings were actually there, and they were taken away because they could get away with the fire. Funny. But in 1975, things started to happen. There was a gathering around the European architectural, what's it called? Heritage Year, something like that. I was 13 years old. And pretty awake of those things. I was actually earlier. This is me in 1975 in February, and this year was opened in officially in May. And this is my first measurement job, our farmhouse at Lunde in Telemark. And I went on, and I felt so pity for all those nice houses, so I started to measure houses before they were demolished. Actually, this one, in a way, is my first house. I was 15 years, and this is a pavilion on the neighbor farm, and I got it for free if I could restore and maintain it. And of course I couldn't. A 15 years old guy, I did all the blunders that is possible to do, of course. Wrong materials, wrong painting, everything. But I made it look nice. And the year after, I was measuring houses that was to be demolished. And then I came across this house, which I understood that was an old piece of a small house that had been extended. And I asked the guy that was going to take it down, because that was done by hand. So I asked him if I could buy the oldest part. And I could. 500 Norwegian kroner. So I got with me a schoolmate, and I bought an axe, and that was it, and we started on the top. So we measured and marked, and dismantled the building. That's the easy part. So it ended up as my gift to the local museum, because it's so much more easy to take it down than to get it up again. But it got up, and you can visit it. When I went to high school, I established the Friends of Aesthetics, not the aesthetic, as I said there. But and we did a lot of actions. We were young. We were drinking wine, of course, and we were discussing a lot. We were talking to journalists. Yeah, painting houses that the authorities wanted to pull down, planted trees, and yeah, whatever, a lot of things. Yeah, I got really good friends at that school, but I got very low grades, of course. So I didn't know what to do. Obviously, I couldn't be an architect as I wanted to. So what should I do? And then I met this guy on the pavement, Jan Jansen, architect in Porsgrunn. And I told him how it was. I have to redo my atrium. And then he said, could you consider working for me? Yes, I said, but I don't have any education. No, but you're fond of drawing and you can something about old houses in Porsgrunn. And that's what I'm working with. So I got this position, and he told me that I want you to make perfect drawings without errors, and they should be beautiful. Don't think about the cost. That's my problem. I'll tell you if it's too expensive. And that was fantastic. That was the start of my career. And I went on writing. I didn't say much about that, but I was 13 and a half years, I was writing in the local newspaper about old houses, drawing them, trying to wake up the community of Porsgrunn. It didn't work out really, very well, actually, but I did that for 3 years. And then we had all those actions, and then I went on writing in the newspaper, making drawings, telling people how nice things could be. When I left Porsgrunn, the right hand of the mayor said to the chief of the museum that it was nice that I left the city because I was a professional protester. That is not true. It was not true. And it is not. But I went to Oslo to do my civil service, and I was lucky. I ended up at the Norwegian Maritime Museum. So here I am on the roof at Bygdenesveien 35. I clung to this fantastic property. It was 16, what's that, Mord? It was a big property with 150 apple trees, coastline, and nice view from the Holmenkollen via the harbor to Gressholmen and Dynafyr. Quite a nice spot for a student, because I clung to this property as a student too. And I maintained it and repaired it and was a sort of a caretaker for the Maritime Museum, so I lived there almost for free. And I went on doing projects for friends and friends of friends back in Grenland, Porsgrunn, Skien. And then I managed to draw me into the architect school, and that was incredible. Actually, I called the school when I got the paper that I had come in. I called the school and asked, could it have happened by a mistake? Because I don't have grades for this. And no, she said, Ilse Krohn, I've been here for 30 years, she said. And it has never happened by mistake. But every autumn somebody calls and asks, so you're one of those. Okay, so I went on, didn't talk about my grades, but we were drawing, and especially the croquis drawings in the mornings was very efficient. I got a fast drawer, so these sketches I did just in some half an hour or something, very quick drawings in the street, and we were drawing all the time, and that was a very good period. And then we got this task making a cottage at Båndtjern. Båndtjern, it's a pond. It's dark, deep, not nice, not a spot for lazy days. So I was struggling with what kind of cottage can I possibly do here? And then I had this, not a dream, but it was in the morning. I had recently wake up, and I suddenly saw a vague picture of something very heavy, like a Gothic chapel out on the water. And I went to my professor, Wenche Selmer, very skilled professor. And luckily we have had very skilled professors that could gently guide us into something more elegant, more architecture-like. So this is my cottage. I was quite proud, actually. But I had a lot of energy. I had to do practical things. And I had discovered, when I was living in Porsgrunn, I had discovered that to understand what I'm doing, I have to do it. I can't learn it from a book or from others' drawings. I had to do it. So I was working in the weekends and in the evenings together with this guy, Bård Stokke. He was a very skilled carpenter and a good friend. Unfortunately, he died 42 years old. This is in Morgedal, and he's quite sure that it holds, as you can see. And this is how we love to work to convince a stakeholder. This is at Dolva, Ulefoss, also Telemark. And we gave the lady who was the owner of this one a very cheap price to make an example. And then we gave her a price for all the house, and we got the mission. Then I was still at school. I went to this course, Urban Ecology. And that was perfect for me, because I realized that all the old buildings that I was so fond of actually was the true sustainable architecture. And this urban ecology thing wasn't beautiful. It wasn't nice. It didn't fit in the cities. And it was much about building new buildings, which I wasn't interested in. I saw that it was a lot of old buildings that needed care. So when I was finished at the architect school, got my grade in 1992, there was no positions whatsoever. I didn't bother to try to get a job. But I had started my own company the autumn before, and I was working together with Bård. And we luckily met a lady from Finnmark, fylkeskommune, municipality, and we realized that, okay, there is some work for us. So we went to Finnmark, and I was so happy that I was established in Trondheim at that point. It could have gone a lot worse. I could have ended up in Finnmark. Oops, sorry. Beautiful, fantastic people. Rough nature, rough climate, rough people. Very nice. And actually, we teach the Sápmi guys to work undercover in the South Way. We do it like this. And they were laughing at us. You're in Finnmark, they said. It won't hold. But actually, it holds through the winter. I don't know if they still do it, but they did at that time. Okay. The other thing I could do, except from going to Finnmark, was to buy property. I had no money, and then it's not easy to buy property. But this was very cheap. 10,000 Norwegian kroner. And as you can see, it's a nice house. The roof is leaking a little, and there is no glass in the windows. But there is a lot of nice things that you don't see from this picture, and nobody actually saw. But this is the same house. It's the same pieces. It's just some few small pieces. Something has been adjusted, but very few pieces are changed due to very high material quality, which is common in older houses. It was a guy, I met a guy, Tore Rosshaug. He's making, or he did used to make TV programs. And he followed that building at Bakklandet in Trondheim and my work with it. And he said that if you can make a house of this wreck, I can make TV. And he did. So, and it became the really start of my company, because suddenly people go straight to you when you go at the street, they talk to you in the shop, they think they know you because they have been very close to you. I have actually been in their living room. That's a funny thing. So, and I was completely unaware of that effect, so I had a lot of other things that I planned to do, but yeah, it was very inspiring too. So, when a lady from the community called me and asked if I would buy this house, also quite cheap, 136,000 Norwegian kroner. Here there were glass towards the street, that's nice, but the roof was leaking and there was a lot of technical problems. Rotten walls towards the courtyard. Here we're actually sitting in the wall. And this is how I like to work together with the craftsmen, because then you can both have your details exactly as you want, and you learn a lot. So this is Gunnar and Rune and me. And for 15 years, my only salary for all those thousands of hours was to see people having a nice time in the restaurant. Actually so nice that hundreds of the regulars went together and made this festival for 5 years. They loved the place. I liked that. But times are changing. After some years, it was time for scaling down. We had 7 listed or protected buildings, and that is a lot of work, of course. But in the meantime, my wife and I had established a company, Eide and Ugliness. This was one of our projects. I could have shown you a lot of wooden projects like this, but we don't have time for that. So, but mainly we have been restoring, repairing, maintaining buildings that has been quite run down from the start. And I always also made some new buildings. This is to encourage the very bad watchdogs at Reinskloster. It's the smallest new building I've ever made. It's that one in the front. Then some 7, 8 years ago, I started full-time as an associate professor with reuse of buildings. Architects like to call it transformation. I don't like that word. We don't have to transform it if it's functioning, but the parts that doesn't function, we have to adjust, not necessarily transform. It's very nice to follow the students and their interests. This is craftsmen taking their bachelor in our institute. Very skilled guys. Both Chris and Anne has taken part in this. And I make some houses. These new side buildings and the gate I've been drawing for our leader in our institute, Daniel Johansen. And I have made, together with my friend Erlend Leidal, a proposal for new doors for a cathedral. And you can say a lot of things about this, because I wouldn't have chosen to make some sort of modern artistic doors in this cathedral. But you have to think, okay, I can do it, I can try to do it, or I can say that I won't do it because I don't agree. And I don't agree, but we did it, and we almost won. Yeah. I think I have to stop there. 20 minutes has gone. Yeah. Thank you for listening.